you know, the difference between the love of the child and the love of the adult is that the child loves with the expectation that his or her desire is going to be fulfilled. The adult loves knowing it won't. And what is love? I mean, this is, of course, something we have to discover for ourselves. But loving is nothing more than the absolute and utter openness and tenderness and passion of the heart, not just for this one person, but actually for everybody, and actually for everything that lives. And as the Taoists say, it's actually, in some sense, the openness and the rawness and the vulnerability and the tenderness toward everything, toward every moment of our life. This, this is, it's hard to know what even to call it. I mean, it's a way of being, it's our human way of being. And you see, this is not something that we can do by ourselves. I mean, we can talk like this, but there has to be, the only way it's ever going to happen is through practice. And in particular, through a practice that taps us into the well springs of that love that we feel when we fall in love. When we fall in love, there's something that flows through us that is so much bigger than we are. And it happens to all humans. It happens to that newborn baby looking at his or her mother. And it happens to us at every age. You know, at different ages we have different ways of being in love. And it flows through teenagers. They have no idea what to do with it. Neither do we. You know, nobody does. But it flows through us. And our problem is that it's so powerful and so opening, and it really does sweep away our own habitual patterns and our self-protective mechanisms. And so it's quite terrifying. And, you know, the only way we can sustain that kind of love, I mean, you can't be in love all the time until later. I think later you can be. Later you can be in love with everything that is. But in the beginning, you know, it's activated by certain people, certain situations, and then it kind of dries up. You know, as we sort of realize what's happening, we try to get our territory back. So the only way really, I'm not saying the only way, but the way in our lineage that this is developed, and Trungpa Rinpoche, by the way, embodied this. He didn't really talk about it. And again, this is another one of his terma, which means this is another one of his teachings that without a word being spoken, it implanted itself in the hearts of all of his students. And I think that's why it's coming up now, because it's something that I saw and experienced, although I didn't know I was saying it and I didn't know what it was. But now, at this point, we need to develop it, because it's who knows why, it's the karma of ourselves and the world and everything. And the only way we can develop it is through our practice. And the only way we can develop it in our practice is through being tapped into and touching the foundations of love, which are in the depths of the earth. Now, when you get to Vajrayana, you find it in your body, but we're not going there. You know, that's something that comes later. It's no problem, because working with it in the depths of the earth that does the job. So what we're doing here is we're cultivating a relationship with the infinite, the point of infinity in the depth of the earth, which is love. It is this burning fire. And as we work with this practice, we're going to be receiving it in our bodies, and we're going to be really realizing that overpowering feeling of love it's not personal and it's not us, and actually there's nothing to fulfill. And that we can be love. In fact, we are love, if we're just willing to open ourselves to that depth.